I think that could be interesting balance. I will pass it on to Nate.
So this can be just anybody in the world, or anybody in this room, or anybody in TC.
It's up to you. It's up to you. Anything you wanna pick.
All right. Well, I want Dwayne the Rock Johnson because he is just a massive human being who could just be a human shield for me. And then, I'm going to take you, Edu, because I need a friend during the apocalypse, and without friendship, what are we sticking around for anyway? So it's just me, you, and the Rock, okay?
I think you get one more. I think you get to take 3 to the zombie zombie
really?
apocalypse. Did you say you could take 3 or you could take 2?
Yes, 3.
3. Oh man. Okay. Well, then I guess I'll take Will Smith because he can smack some zombies.
And who do you pass it to?
Too soon. Okay, NT. I'll pass it to NT.
This is a really weird question. I'm not sure I would pick anyone at TC yet. I don't feel like I know no one that well now. I'd probably take my mom as well. First of all, then I have one friend who's like really good at like martial arts and that kind of stuff that I guess could come in handy. Then I have Efra, who has also been around the TC, but who's pretty much like one of my best friends. And the last person, I don't know. I guess someone like with good skills at the kitchen that would know how to prepare meals with really scarce or really weird items could also be helpful in the situation. With that, I'll pass it on to Sandra.
To me?
Okay, I don't think I really know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Can somebody please say again the question that we're answering?
Yes, we are answering an icebreaker question, which is there is a zombie apocalypse coming. Who are 3 people you want on your team?
Oh, on my team.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've never thought about that. I'm okay on my team. Okay, Aloysius. They are one of the people I was working with in SourceCred, and I think they are still working with the TEC. So Aloysius, Ezra, and Merrick. All of the people were working in SourceCred. Yeah.
And will you mind to pass it on to someone?
Okay. I'd like to pass it to Costa.
I think I would take my husband, my flatmate, and my best friend because I really would want things to flow effortlessly. I don't want to be having arguments on things that we don't agree. So I want people that know me and people that I know, so we can ride and hide efficiently. I'll pass it on to. Is anyone left?
Tam.
Yeah, Tam. Pass it on to you.
So I would say I feel like YGG could make like a boat out of some scrap leaves and some like seashells. So I'm gonna have YGG in my camp, and then I think Griff and Lauren, because they're so positive and upbeat And in a moment like that, I really feel like you need to be recklessly optimistic about everything or you just sink into despair. Also, the world might need to be peopled. So that way we have people makers with us too. And I'll
And
pass
your
back
two
to you.
daughters. And your two daughters.
Oh, I guess they come with me by default.
All right. How
Thanks,
about you,
Eduardo.
Janacy?
I have been thinking, oh my god, I don't know. I probably, I think I will select my family. I mean, my brother and my boyfriend, and that's all. And my people with me. Yeah, that's my answer. Back to
Thank
you,
Janacy,
Edu.
and thank you everyone who answered this question. So we will start today's meeting with Costa. There are two things regarding he made this week. One is one that we talked about last week a little bit about the FAQ. And Nate, do you have any comment on the FAQ you want to share? Well, he's here. He has a time constriction, so yeah, just want to quickly touch on that before he leaves the call.
No, I think it's really good. Like with in terms of creating an FAQ for common questions that occur in Discord, I think this is a really good outline for things. Of course, like every FAQ, you could take one subject and really break it down into a billion different questions, which is why FAQs are a lot of fun. But knowing what information do we want to have readily available for people who are answering questions, and knowing exactly what information we want to have available on our Git book are very two different things. And so understanding which ones go where is something that I think Kos and I we can talk about and see if we can start building, this infrastructure slowly, piece by piece. And from what I understand, Edu, this was strictly meant for people who are using or who are going to be answering questions on Discord. Is that correct?
Correct. The idea is to extrapolate this to the Gitbook at certain level, and there was this really nice suggestion that Nate made that we are using so far these areas of interest in the profiling that people do when they enter and they do the survey of thesis. So you're curious, education, partnership. So we have these categories already for people who fill the survey. So Nate made a suggestion that maybe we could categorize this by these areas of interest that we have created for people, the buckets of information. The other thing that also Costa did was about reviewing the Gitbook just to check on the eyes of someone who is new what is outdated and what is not, what needs to be updated. So Costa, would you like to share a little bit about your finds?
Yeah, sure. If you can show, yeah, okay. I'll go through the sections. So on the onboarding section, I found that the call times are outdated. Then the praise bot link, it's not working well. I don't know if it's supposed to be a link where you see praise bot, not just where you were. Yeah, you see that those are 4 links and then praise bot. I don't know if the praise bot's like supposed to be a link where I complete or just. Then I see that nowhere on the onboarding section is mentioned that you can ask for a one-on-one call. Maybe that would be interesting for people to know. Then the Discord rules that you have also there in the onboarding section are repeated further down on the learn more section. So the whole section is like twice. Then going to the working group sections. If I'm going too fast or you want me to slow down and go through them, just tell me. Or should I just go like this?
I think it works.
Okay, on the working groups, there's the TEAM DAO Discord. The invite is not working. There is a link, and that link is not working. The one from the Discord. Yeah, that one that doesn't work. And then also on the working groups, the TC part, there is no description. There's only links. And if I was new, I would like to have like a short description because it's only the links.
In which one, sorry?
On the TEC labs.
Labs.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true. There's no description of these labs. Okay.
Then on the section of budgeting and reward system, it's mostly empty. The working group budgets is empty. The multi-sig wallets is empty. The how praise is quantified is empty. If you go down.
Oh yeah.
And then the bounties are also empty, maybe because there are no bounties, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Then,
sorry, go ahead.
On the yeah, you can go, Nate.
Yeah, so some of the stuff is written. I wanted to either wait for confirmation on like processes, like in having the multi-sig wallets and having conversations about whether we should publish those multi-sig wallets, things like that. Also, the working groups. This needs to. So I've been trying to figure out ways to get working groups to kind of own their own pages here, to keep them up to date while following a simple format. But this really needs to be, like, we can have people who are constantly updating the Gitbook, but this is something that just we need to have a little bit more ownership over the process, and we need to get more people involved with this Gitbook page, because all this information is going to evolve. And so while you can have one person update it periodically every 6 months or something, I think it'd be more efficient if the Communitas, you have your page here, you have your working group page. What information do you want to display on here? And so I guess having that conversation of whether we have one person chasing down information or we empower the working groups to manage this themselves is a good question to start with.
Yeah, I think for budgets, I think it's going to be hard to get people to get working groups to update budgets. I'm actually just going to the Gitbook page now because it's been a while since I've been there. But like the one that we're stopped at right now, where we're looking at working group budgets. I guess I don't see that one being something that each working group updates, but we could have the, either what Transparency is managing, which I think is the TEC multi-sig wallets in the below one, or or just links to the forum of the proposals, or links to the proposals for the working group budgets might be a solution for that, rather than
the budget's just actually just kind of description of like how we go about getting the budget and like what what processes are involved. It's more educational than transparency. Like the multi-sig was about transparency, but working group budgets is just how it works.
Oh, right. So it's just a description of the working groups using the conviction voting to pass their budgets. I got it.
Yep.
Yeah, at the end, transparency matter, we can just link to the proposal on Gardens. So it will save the amount and so on for transparency for people who want to know the budget. Can we is there any way to keep these tabs, for example, invisible until we actually fill them with content?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can also add my writing to it to just finish it off. It may not be accurate, but like the multi-sig wallets, do you think it's okay to add where the wallets are and who is in charge of them?
I will say just name the people, not necessarily the wallets.
Isn't that something transparency is also sharing anyway?
I believe so, and so that's why I don't see it as being much of a problem, but I just wanted to make sure before I post
I
it.
think we can ask it.
I believe
Yes,
it should be otherwise. Like you can share the link to the Gnosis multisig and not the people. So people can see the transactions, but doesn't necessarily have to know who are related to that. I guess.
That's a really good idea, actually. And all of the multi-sigs addresses are in the proposal. So in the proposal, we do say what address the funds would go to.
All right. Would you like to continue, Pastor?
Yes. So if we go to the TEC funding section, the proposal submissions is also empty. And transparency is also empty. Then on the TC collective agreements, the source cred was repeated section in budgeting and reward system.
Okay.
And then on the FAQs and additional resources, if you go down, the Hatch 101, yeah, that there is a link to Discord that is also not working.
Yeah, so most of the Hatch stuff is going to be in the kind of archive, no longer necessarily needed. Just wanted to point that out as well.
Excuse me, can you repeat? I didn't hear properly.
I was going to say most of the Hatch 101 stuff is there, but it should be in the archive, and so
Okay.
yeah, this is like no information that's no longer needed for the TEC, but is very useful in terms of future iterations of commons, and so want to make sure we have that and keep that available.
All right. My last.
Sorry, Costa. Rather than having it in an archive, I would rather say like, hey, how do we get here, or how do we arrive here? So it becomes people understand that it's a context, because if you archive it, people doesn't know that that's important for us.
That's true. I think that if you're I try to capture that within the history part of it, but I mean not necessarily that you need to understand exactly how to go through the hatch process.
I think it could also be framed as a section dedicated to the relationship of the TC with the common stack, and maybe some of those pages you don't really need them anymore, but you can have like small structure on how the TC was built with the trusted seed from the common stack, and what was the paper of the common stack in building the TC, and that sort of stuff. And like you can I'm not really sure because I haven't read the whole section, but maybe there's a lot of information that isn't like as important or really needed anymore, but you can have like a small outline of I don't know, I see hatchers here, the role and all that, and it would be nice to know what does it mean anyways, and where does it come from in the process. And, yeah.
you, Costa?
Yeah, my last thing is just the cat link is also not working on the same section. And that was all.
All right, perfect. Any other comment regarding the gift, Nate or Tam?
Is our objective to fill in the gaps? Like Costa identified the gaps that we need to fill in. Is it listed somewhere?
Correct.
Those gaps?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we can open an issue for it so that we could track the progress. We can open an issue and also drop in the file or the whatever form has the list of those gaps that we need to look at. It'll be helpful. Thanks, Costa.
I will say that if anybody wants to amend or make changes to the Gitbook, all you have to do is edit it, and you can have a merge request for it. So feel free to get in there and get your hands dirty. So.
Would you like to take that on, Costa, on the update of the Gitbook, or like?
Yeah, sure.
Someone to take?
No, I can try to take it. I will need help. I'll just ask, but I will get heads on it.
I think here your body system will be Nate, most likely.
Okay.
He is the Lord of it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you need anything, let me know, and I'll help you through.
If you need to go, if you have anything else to share.
No, that was all. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye. See ya.
And Tam, when you are creating the issue for this, so I can paste the list of things, or should I create it?
Sure, I can just do it super quickly, and I'll drop it in. I'll drop it in our channel.
The agenda.
Oh, okay. The agenda works too.
Then Benz is not here. Benz was the next point in the agenda, and he wanted to talk about. Let me ping him. He wanted to talk about the graphics. So we can talk about a little bit the updates that we did for orientation call. So website is going to be updated today. If I'm not wrong, with adding the orientation call. Twitter was also confirmed by Shui. And the replacement of Acid Laser, which I cannot remember his name at the moment, but he already confirmed that he's going to update the Twitter with the orientation call. And then the one that I'm missing is updating the calendar, because I don't know if in the calendar of the Discord they have updated the orientation call. That's the only update to be done, I believe. And then regarding the TEC 101's calendar, so I reached out to Manu to see he seems to have a conflict of time with today's call, and he expressed that by tomorrow he will have an answer on if HubSpot can be plugged in with meetings or not. So if HubSpot does, I don't know, Nate, if you are aware of this, by the way. Do you know anything about creating meetings through HubSpot?
Yes, we can do that. It's just what is the benefit that we're looking for that we can't use something else?
Basic.
I just think that HubSpot right now is very limited in terms of it's very difficult to manage each different service that it provides, and being transparent about that versus the alternatives of, Anyway, go. What were you saying about it? The benefit of it?
Yeah. The thing is that Calendly, and we have this limitation, for example, with Calendly and the other sources like cal.com, is that most of them only allows one calendar. So if people wants to book different calendars or different timings, it doesn't allow you more than one. So I explored other options like call.com, and all of them have the same limitation that you can only have one. And since we already, I assume, we are paying or using HubSpot as an integration tool, and there is the option for HubSpot meeting. I thought it was more like useful to just use the same tool, not to have more tooling, but to use the one that we already use.
I can definitely explore that. I think there's some, like, you have to have the integrations for the different calendars. And so if we're using multiple ones, I'd probably need a list of those and to integrate them into a single service, which I do think is possible. I'm just not sure. I'm not exactly sure how to manage it totally. I haven't used the calendars in a direct way, but I will definitely explore that.
So they would all be Google Calendars. And the basic requirement, so that what Eduardo had been attempting to do is create this like, hey, wanna have a one-on-one with a guide? Just open this calendar, click on an available time. But we can basically just use one calendar with the free versions of Calendly and Cal.com. So ideally, if we could put free time on more like 3 people's calendars, so if we could have HubSpot that can connect to 3 different Gmail calendars, and then a person can book time with those 3 guides anytime that's free on any of their calendars, versus trying to create one calendar that had, like, we would have to basically do the inverse, right? We'd have to do like the negative. We'd have to like block off the time where people aren't available so that only the free time on these 3 calendars actually end up being available on that shared calendar. So we kind of hit a roadblock trying to set it up for more than one guide. And as Eduardo was looking for alternatives, he came across HubSpot. I have no idea if we can do it with HubSpot, but it could be neat if we can.
Yeah, I think the only issue would be that we need at least one associated email with the HubSpot that is not an individual one.
Yeah, something like TEC Guides would be great. TEC Guides
Exactly,
at gmail.com would be amazing.
We already have that Gmail set up.
You do have the Gmail set up. Okay, yeah, then just send me that email, because that would be the only thing, because I feel like most people would be very uncomfortable with a small group of people at HubSpot managing their email integration. So
yeah, but then with that one email as the main calendar entry, could we add other calendars so that free time on any of these 3 calendars are bookable?
yeah, I can definitely explore that and see if, because I believe that does work. Yep.
That'd be awesome.
I will definitely explore that.
Or we can add directly from the Gmail calendar. We can add different administrators to the calendar. So in case it gets blocked by HubSpot, we can still control it by Google.
Well, we would still end up with that thing where we need to somehow block out all of the time on our calendars, but then have only the open. Yeah, it's almost a disaster. So there's no way for us to note free time, only blocked time. So we would have to block out all the time that we're not free, versus adding the time.
You'd have to have a dedicated guide Gmail for each guide. Because it will mix your personal versus and that's maybe fine, but I feel like it gets kind of messy. Yeah. Because if you have integrated calendars into yours that are also associated with the HubSpot, then it gets really, really messy as well.
Do we want to test it out? Yeah, do you guys want to test it out and see if it works? Yeah. And maybe it's also a dead end, but hopefully.
Hopefully not. Ideally, I mean, this is something we have sort of prolonged for a long time, so I feel like we can just figure out the easiest way to set this up with HubSpot, and if it doesn't work, it's fine. We don't have to force it. We can get $5 or $10 a month for Calendly, and that's it. I mean, we are just trying to use less tooling for the same things. Like, if we already have the tool that we are already using, then let's just be smart about this kind of stuff. So for me, it's about that. If it doesn't work, fine. Another tool will be. All right. So I I didn't have much else for today's meetings. I think the besides the FAQ, the guidebook, I still have to work on the workflows document. I had have some things pending with Gideon, but since he was missing this week and had a personal situation this week, we didn't find time to finish that document. So he's basically acting like a guide for creating this document on workflows. So it makes sense since I'm not very good at processes making. So he's helping me with that. So yeah, so there is no update on that end. Probably we'll still work about this on this week. Is there something you would like to touch on, Ten?
No, I think we're okay here.
All right. So does anyone else have something else you would like to share or comment on? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. With that being said, I think that's pretty much all. It was an unusual short call.
Cool.
All right. I think. Yes, indeed.
No, I was just going to say thank you and bye, I guess.
All right. I think CET people time will appreciate it being early. All right, guys. Mr. Gaze here. Welcome to the Communitas weekly meeting. We are about to finish the call, but would you like to introduce yourself? Sorry to put you in the spotlight, Mr. Gazer. Or Gessier. I don't know how to pronounce your name. If you are talking, Mr. Gessier, you are muted, so we cannot hear you. I will count down to 0, and if you can message, you can also message us and let us know. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Sorry, Mr. Gessier. Is there something else we can help you? Please don't hesitate to DM me or Tan. And if it's regarding the working group or if you want to share something, we have a working group text channel. You feel free to share any thoughts, any questions that you may have. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. Anyway, looking forward to see you next time.
Thanks, Eduardo.
Thanks, Edu.